All right, welcome back to the shop. This is another busy weekend, and I am trying this new microphone out again, so hopefully it's working good. I'm going to try to make this broach bushing. I know you can't see very well. I've already got it sitting in the vise here. If you don't know what a broach bushing is, and I've never used one myself, I just watched others do it, and I got to get some done. But here's kind of what it is. Let me show you here on the bench. I've got several of these. I think I may have talked about this. These were made by a guy at work that are really undersized. They've got about 15 thousandths of clearance. They might still work. And that hole's not going all the way through, but what I'm trying to make is, and I have set my other bushing somewhere, probably another room. No, here it is, okay. All right, let me see. Let's get back here a little ways. See if what you can see right quick. It's probably bright over there. This is a normal bushing broach set. I'll bring you in here and show you in just a minute. I'm just showing you an overview here. Normally they're this long. This is a factory built one, you know, and it fits just right. Okay, I had to burn it. Now I got it stuck. Crap, I'm gonna drop everything. Bad about fumbling stuff. I had to burn, probably boogering it up. But anyway, I need one that'll go pretty much plumb through, like about that long. Now I'll show you this broach set that I've got. I've never used it. I don't even have a press yet, but anyway, here's what it looks like. So, you've got different sizes. The one I'm after is a 3/8 keyway. So it's going to be this one. Whoop, and it's got shims that go with it, you know. But I'm probably not going to do the shim method on this. Is what we're trying to do is, so, see if you can see this. Try not to waste a lot of time like I usually do. Normally you would put, see this is kind of dry, that's one reason I don't want to go in there. I probably boogered it up when I dropped it, so I need to sand that off. Dadgummit. But anyway, the way that'll work is that'll be down in that hole. See, and this will go in here, and that's kind of got a little bit of a taper from bottom to top. So the further that goes down, you press that thing down in there when it's in here, and it starts cutting that keyway. Okay. And then, and I know a lot of people already know this, and just in case somebody didn't know what a broach bushing was, so I'm going to make a long one. That way we can get through there. And this may not be long enough when we try to do that. I don't know what's going to happen when we get to this point down here. We may have to make a tool to push that down or get some longer broaches, you know. Normally you get to this point, I guess, and it'll drop back through. I don't know if you can see, but that's got a high spot. So I don't know, because we're going to still have quite a bit of that broach by the time we get to that point, or say this point. We're going to have a lot of that broach still on in here. So at first I'm probably going to have to build a tool that I can push that thing on through, or get a longer broach. This is 12-inch broach. Well, maybe we need an 18-inch broach or something. They're not all that available. I haven't seen them as easily available as these, but anyway, that's kind of the overview of what I'm building here. So let's go over here to the mill and see. I'm not going to show you all of this, just maybe little bits and pieces. And I got another machine job I got to do here as soon as I can here. But let me get this. I'm sure I'm wiggling the heck out of this camera, but it's about as high as I can get the camera up right there. Hopefully the microphone's working well this time. But I'm going to show you the way I'm in a hurry. I'm fixing to have to go cut wood with my family here in a minute. So, I haven't even plugged the mill in yet. Dad burn it, I forgot about that. I've got a 5/16 roughing end mill in here. So, make sure I'm not tight on the X. And if you hadn't noticed, on the Amateur Redneck Workshop, Harold, I can't think of his last name, but if you don't watch him, you really ought to. He's a lot of fun. He just got a mill just like this, just a week or so ago, a couple weeks ago, whatever. He's setting up and wiring up, and I talked to him a little bit in the messages in his channel. And I know he's going to enjoy having a good solid mill finally, instead of that little tabletop grizzly that he's used for several years, and I guess it's done him well. I guess he's just tired of it, so good for him. He got a new Precision Matthews. These are a PM950V for variable. So the way I'm going to do this, and I'll probably drop the quill down. This is not extremely critical work, but I want it to be pretty good. I'm just going to, since I'm chucked in the vise, all I'm going to do here, and I'm going to turn the tool backwards. I'm going to put this in neutral. See where I can turn it pretty easily. I mean, normally you'd take an edge finder or whatever and find the center, but I'm just going to turn my tool real carefully backwards until I just touch that. And you could touch off here or anywhere, but I'm just going to barely touch my vise. Running the tool backwards, just easy. Yeah, I can feel it. It's kind of touching it right there. And I need to turn on my DRO, and I can see that number. I probably showed you this before. This ain't nothing. Anyway, once I get that, I'll zero. It's hard to do this while I'm trying to steady away a little bit, but see, that's it. I can usually hear it. Okay, I'm against it right there. Close enough. So I'm going to zero the y-axis, and then I'm going to come over here and do the same thing. And till it just touches. I believe that's touching right there. Try not to waste too much time here. All right, I got 1.08, no, 1.204. I'm pretty sure I'm touching right there. Yep. So now I need to remember that number, 1.204. I always forget how to do this, but I think you can push the half function. You know, all you do is split that number in half. I'm on negative 1.204, so I'm going to push half and then y. Half. Okay, I guess you have to push the y first. And there we go, we're at 0.602 negative. So now all I got to do is run this to where it shows zeros. I know you can't see the DRO where you're at, but trust me on this. I'm trying to get through this as quick as I can, not to bore you. Okay, there's our zero. At that point, I'm going to lock down the y-axis so it can't move. And I'm ready to start milling, and I'll have to check the depth on this. It's a funny depth. I've already kind of did some calculations on it. It's not like a regular keyway. It's 560 thousandths deep is what it measures on the actual keyway when we're done on this 1.5 inch part of the shaft down here. This is just a flange on top. All right, so when we get to milling here in a minute, I'll bring you back in here. Okay, it's time to do a little milling here, and this is going to be kind of boring, so I'm just going to touch off a little bit right here. I'm probably not running fast. Oh, I was going to get my mister going here. I think I got it hooked up. Let's see. I think that's about right. Let's try that. And now bring this up. I know you're not at a good angle here. That's just about all I can do for now, but God dang. Yep, that's pushing a little hard, wasn't it? Well, as you can see, I just broke the end mill, so that's pushing it too hard. I wasn't sure about that, so anyway, we'll continue this in a little bit. I'll get a different end mill in there. All right, there's not a lot to see here. This has just been taking a long time. I've just got a 1/4-inch end mill in there, just finishing this out, doing the final passes, making several spring passes here. Make sure I'm getting the corners good down in the bottom, that final depth, making 2 or 3 passes across there. So, nothing really to see to bore you. Just want to bring you back in for this. Just about done with this, and I've got another little machining job I need to do here in a minute. Hopefully get this done, and I've got several jobs I'm trying to do on the plasma, so I've been back and forth. As this is running, I've been running back and forth doing other jobs here, so anyway, that's really all to see right here at this time. Well, this is that other little machining job I was talking about. I got to get done tonight, and so we can put it on our lathe at work. These were just a little too narrow. It's well, let me show you. I've got one over here on my lathe. See here, just to back up something, you know, to keep something straight, or to give you cover that hole up in your spindle. In that case, at work, we need something to fill that hole in, because we're pushing pretty hard on cutting some big 2.5 by 4 TPI threads. So I just need this to be 1 3/8, so I got to take about 200 thousandths or a little better off of each side of this. I'm taking about 205 thousandths off of each side. This is the last one here I'm just doing tonight, so let's get going on this. Just going to touch off and then set zero the DRO, and it's not a very good setup. I'm just trying to hurry up on this, so just taking fairly light cuts, about 40 thousandths at a time here or so. And this is pretty springy, so I'm having to take a lot of spring passes at the end of this, because it's kind of made to flex on the chuck anyway a little bit, so I guess pretty thin. Trying to take conventional cuts on the main cut here. Just soft aluminum. I just left this 1/4 inch end mill in here that I was using earlier. Okay, we're up to 120 thousandths off now. I know this can't be very exciting, but it's just what I'm doing for the moment. Let's go ahead and get it all here. 206 thousandths right there. Alright, that ought to do. Alright. Alright, let's measure it and see where we ended up. And I'll have to deburr this later, but it's bedtime, so just trying to get done here. Whoop. Scooting you all around here. Alright. Yeah, I can deburr this. Not that big a deal anyway. Get my cheap calipers out here, and that's about what I was looking for, about 1.4 inches. That's about what we got, somewhere around there. I bet there's enough spring in these, it'll probably go on anyway, but anyway, that's all. I did finish this Broach bushing earlier. Well, I'm not really finished with it, but here I'll show you real quick. It looks pretty decent, but my end mill has really got a little too much flex in it, I guess. It's not getting it real wide. I can get this in here, but down in the corner, I'm gonna have to take another. My end mill's barely long enough on the flutes to get down in there in the bottom, so I've got the depth where I want it, but I just need to come in here and widen that out. This other one was actually well over 3/8, and I only really opened it up to 3/8, so it needs to be wider than 3/8 by probably 5 thousandths or so. See how that one kind of fits in there. It's kind of tight right there too, but I may have a little burr on there, I don't know. Anyway, I'm sure after you use this a few times it'll loosen up, but anyway, I'll probably have to set that back up and get it straight, and I'll probably get a good 5/16 end mill and just come in there and take about another, I don't know, maybe 3/1000 off each side or so and see how that feels. I should have checked that before I pulled it out, but I didn't. Alrighty, thanks for watching. That may be all we do for this episode. Just a few of the things I was doing. I'm going to cut some letters here. That's why I've got this on the table now, but I've got another project coming up. A couple projects. But anyway, the shop's a mess. Just trying to get a few things done. We'll check you next time.